Ladies and gentlemen, this is from NPR. This article is from NPR New Hampshire. Actually, it's from News from New Hampshire and NPR. Fold lines could account for Windham's total discrepancies, by Josh Rogers. One of the officials in Windham's recount has indicated a potential explanation for discrepancies. Quote, something we strongly suspect at this juncture, based on various evidence, is that in some cases, fold lines are being interpreted by the scanners as valid votes. So, you have a pretty wide discrepancy, and the totals, I think, were for the Republicans who, the Republican candidates in New Hampshire, where the recount found 300 votes they should have received, and for the Democrats, it was 99 that they received. In addition, they received 99 more than they should have. So that is according to NPR. That article is below in the description section, okay? The Washington Post and others have spoken about this, and I'll put those links below as well. The interesting thing about this is that from President Trump's perspective, it backs his vantage point. His opinion or his viewpoint is bolstered by this discovery in New Hampshire. It's not about, see, Democrats say, well, that's not true because those issues don't exist with scanners in other states. That's not what Trump and Trump Republicans have been saying from their vantage point. They're saying that the opposing political party took advantage of this type of situation. Whether it was folds that the scanners mistook as votes for Democrats or didn't count for Republicans, or any other anomaly, or any other bizarre occurrence where technology and human fallibility coincide, you have a situation where a lot of problems can take place from Trump's perspective. Now, this is just one article. Let's see if I can read you. Here's another article. WMUR 9. This is a New Hampshire radio station, I believe. Windham vote officials point to ballot folds as possible source of discrepancies. Machines may have interpreted fold as a vote for a particular candidate. Pembroke, New Hampshire, independent auditors examining discrepancies in Windham are zeroing in on fold lines across ballots as potential explanation for significant changes in vote tallies. So, from Giuliani and Trump's perspective, and Jenna Ellis and other attorneys associated with President Trump, their viewpoint is, look, this type of thing could have been systemic. This type of thing could have happened throughout the country. Democrats, the immediate rebuttal will be there's no evidence. Then the Republicans could easily say, yeah, there was no evidence until we found out that there were discrepancies. Things didn't make sense to Trump, just like they didn't make sense to Democrats. The difference is that Trump never accused anybody of working alongside Russia and Putin to buy Facebook ads to swing people's decision from Clinton to Trump. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. I have a fantastic segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel right after this. So go to H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link below is below in the pinned comment. So definitely the best thing you can do for this channel, my voice, for me, is subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel. Let's get it to over 20,000 subs. I'm building it now. We're almost at 16, I think around 16,000 subs right now. And so you are just absolutely awesome for helping build that channel. But that's my other channel. It's 3 to 4 minutes. It's a lot shorter than these videos, and it's more direct and to the point. But ladies and gentlemen, you have 2 articles here. What are the chances, from Trump's viewpoint, what are the chances that this issue, this type of issue, where human beings either decide to fold the document or, whatever. In Arizona, Democrats immediately pounced on the issue of markers and said, oh my God, there's no evidence at all. Well, maybe not in Arizona, but from President Trump's viewpoint, I'm not saying my viewpoint, I'm saying President Trump's perspective, this could be an issue where in each voting location, not in each county, city, within the states, the machines or the people around the machines might have inadvertently or in another manner, on purpose, but inadvertently engaged in behavior that made this more of a systemic issue. Democrats love to use the word systemic, except when it perhaps doesn't help them politically. So this could have been, from Trump's perspective, a systemic issue. If Arizona goes the way of New Hampshire, you better believe this is going to be a huge political fault line. And Democrats at first initially were they easily quote unquote debunked President Trump's accusations because they said there's no evidence, that's it, just no more discussion, there's no evidence. And they were right, there was no direct evidence. Now we're finding circumstantial issues or evidence that Republicans can use to say, hey, you know what? This might have been in a small New Hampshire town, and it might have been during contests that Republicans won. But what about the contests that were close? What about the contests that were won by less than 100 votes? Less than 1,000 votes? Less than 5,000, 10,000? And so this is something that when you spend 4 years blaming Russia, sowing distrust, you can't simply fall back and say, well, that was the United States government. It doesn't matter whether it's John Brennan or Rudy Giuliani. It's the same sentiment is being evoked. You cannot say that our distrust is warranted because we have John Brennan and James Clapper and James Comey and The Atlantic and the New York Times and the Washington Post. Of course, Democrats are going to say that. They're going to say, well, we have the entire American political establishment, the intelligentsia, all the smartest, most intrepid reporters on our side. Yeah, they're all Democrats. The intelligence agencies were run by Democratic loyalists. That's not a hyperbole. It doesn't matter if James Comey originally was a Republican, so is Mitt Romney. Okay? Trump is not really a Republican, or I should say he's not a traditional Republican. That's why he's so successful. That's why so many people like him. That's why even if he were indicted by New York prosecutors, the entire planet, including Democrats, would say, yeah, that was political. That was simply a political stunt. See, there are 2 ways of looking at everything in American politics. One is New York prosecutors are they're trying to uphold truth and justice. And the Washington Post and the New York Times and the Atlantic and MSNBC, CNN and Hollywood and intelligence operatives, they're just trying to protect the country. Or they're shamelessly pushing for one political side, They're going to go after Trump simply to try to knock him out of 2024. They don't care about equally the rule of law when it comes to Clinton, but they definitely care about the rule of law when it comes to Trump. They're going to go after people they don't like and protect people they like. And they're utilizing the notion of the rule of law as a political tool. And so if Trump is indicted, or if they don't want to engage in recounts, they're doing so because the alternative would be detrimental to them from a political perspective. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe.